Greetings and salutations. Welcome to NasCanucks, presented by Vibraprint, your Canadian auto racing podcast with an even more Canadian spin. Sure, I'm Ben, he's Doug, and welcome Terry. Awesome. Let's
just want to get one thing clear.
Yep.
Chase Briscoe, in case you didn't know, today is Tuesday. I know you don't know a lot of stuff, just so you know.
Claims.
Yeah.
Claims.
More on that in a bit.
Yes. So a historic weekend, possibly. I know it was record-setting.
For what reasons?
Well, a few, but there was a theme throughout the weekend. 2 words, both 4 letters, starting with S.
Yeah. Yep.
Followed by an H.
I thought Bo and Luke were going to pop out of the cars at some point.
You know what? I texted you. All I'm going to say, is it a spoiler if I just say I think everybody should just send Penske a repair bill? Hey, Jeremy. Good to see you. So, a historic weekend for the fact that for the first time we had the IndyCar and Cup Series at the same venue on a weekend. Previously, we had seen trucks and IndyCars share events. But this was a first, and they got rid of the boring Brickyard 400, which was really 160 laps of follow the leader, and tire wear.
Yes.
Yeah. One thing I did notice, slight revision to the road course. I'm not sure when it took effect, but that last chicane.
Last 4 laps of the Cup race.
No, not that one. Where apparently you do a stop and go in turn 12. That complex, where the pit entrance is. Remember, they used to go flat out through the Brickyard turn 1, and then excessive tire wear, so they stopped doing that. So we had the Xfinity Series running, we had the IndyCar Series running, obviously, and we had the Cup Series running. So starting off the weekend with the Xfinity, nice full field, bunch of ringers in there. And I watched the pre-race, Doug, and I was like, all right, well, this should be interesting. And I figured
last year. They did it
well,
last year.
calamity would happen in turn 1, as it often does, because the way they got that inner curb on turn 1, I've never liked that curb setup. It reminds me of Sonoma when you'd hit it and get upset. Little did I know
that wasn't
later.
Yeah.
They apparently added a turtle to the outside of turn 6.
Yes.
Or turn 5. Turn 5?
6.
Is it a 4-5 complex or is it a 5-6 complex? Whatever the chicane is for the back straight. They added a turtle to the outside.
Was on that side for the Xfinity guys. Other side of 6 for the Cup guys.
Well, no, they were both sides for the Xfinity. They had the ramp on the other side the whole weekend.
It wasn't as noticeable, though.
Well, no, because of ride heights. But, well, no. Davidson did do an Evel Knievel, and he damn near cleared the field. Damn near.
Yes.
Damn near cleared the field. But we saw in the first lap this outside turtle that was there. According to the Speedway, it was put there, Doug, because, well, that's not racing asphalt. We don't want you driving on that. Even though 10 feet further, every single car is running on it, 10 feet further down.
Mm-hmm.
So, no. So all it did was destroy half a dozen cars to start the race. Well, 4 for sure.
Yeah.
And so, and immediately I went, well, it wouldn't be Indiana in August without shit show. I can say it now more in a minute. So, all right, Charles, 75 ends here. Jeremy can't stay for the whole show. Take it easy. Yeah. I'll watch the episode later. Yeah, and we will. Believe me, we're gonna get
Harrison Burton. Like Harrison Burton, he was here and gone.
Yeah. How did Harrison end up finishing where he did? Yeah. Based on the we also have Keith H in the house. Nice. We got 5 people watching. Awesome. So Xfinity, we had some of the usual suspects throughout the race. I'll say running up front, Noah Gragson. It should be an E, Gregson, not Gragson. But Noah Gragson was determined to make his car as narrow as possible by beating it off other cars. every time the cars were 3 wide, he was one of them involved. Yep. Other than that,
wasn't Bubba Wallace doing double duty too? No. Was that next weekend? Next weekend, yes.
That's next weekend. Yes. So
Harvick was doing double duty?
Very briefly.
Yeah.
Very briefly.
Yeah.
I like the Keselowski just kicking outside one of the corners there, just checking out the site, which was a theme throughout the weekend. It was awesome because we also saw NASCAR drivers watching the Indy race and IndyCar drivers checking out the NASCAR. Like Ryan Hunter-Reay's kids were hanging out on Larson's pit box and he could not hold them down for the life of them. They were like, nope, we're staying here, Dad.
Yep.
So more on that later. I'm just trying to think. Guys were running for stage points and stuff. Of course, then there's all the fuel strategies and not so much tire strategies. Tires fell off, but it was, I think, a second, maybe second and a half a lap, which it's not bad on a road course with a lap average.
At one point, Priest's tire did fall right off.
That it did.
Yep.
That happened. Yep. And then it seemed to kind of calm down towards near the end, and then not so much. And then we started to see, the ramp. That's when the ramp, they called it a rumble strip, Doug. We'll put out one rumble strip perpendicular so you can't cut that last corner. Yeah. That was the ramp because the rear tires were 3 feet off the ground. Yeah. The front tires had to be 12 feet off the ground.
Yep.
And he came down hard, but then he's just like, screw it. I'm just going to crank her right and see if we can keep her going. And how does it always happen when a car gets out of shape on a road course, where there's a chance that it's like somebody's going to get hurt really, really, really bad with a massive T-bone? They always thread the needle.
Yeah. No idea.
Or they might just clip a bit, but it's never bang. Thank goodness. But so I don't know. Long story short, I don't know.
I haven't. It's actually still playing upstairs. I didn't get.
Yeah, I was going to say. Long story short, Austin Cindric wins his 5th road course race. They love to do these little mini stats. 5th road course, tying or for the record for 5 wins on road courses. It's like, Doug, you hold the record for most wins on a Tuesday when it's cloudy and a full moon the next 3 weeks. It's like, what?
They really want to be sticking ball sports like baseball.
Yeah, they really do. So they got these, which I was going to bring up, which is a record-setting portion of the weekend. I can pretty much guarantee, I haven't researched it, but I'm pretty damn sure this is the first time ever that NASCAR pit crews have pitted the cars backwards in back-to-back races.
Yep.
They ran Watkins Glen last week, and this is the only other track they run the pits backwards. No, wait, Road America too. Yeah. So the potential's there, but so that was I thought that was an interesting. I just thought of that factoid earlier today. I went, well, imagine that. So Austin Cindric won. Everybody's happy. Oh, Penske car won at Indy. Imagine that. Yeah, imagine that. Yeah. It's not like his life doesn't revolve around the place. And we got to thank the Penske family and the France family for putting this all together. What? Cup Series has been going there for a quarter century, folks. In August. It was more Penske biting the bullet and say, okay, we'll have our premier open wheel series. Like they act like they're the WWF, like no other open wheel. What about Formula One? They're better. No, us, IndyCar. Yeah. But they ran as a support series. Why? Because they ran on Saturday.
Yes.
Which
I didn't. I only seen highlights.
I watched the highlights. I saw the highlight of apparently, Doug, you don't have to hit the rumble strip, aka as I call it, the cup ramp or a stock car ramp, because if you hit the white painted portion of the curb prior to that in an Indy car, you will launch your car so far in the air, you clear that chicane ramp before you land again.
Yeah, was it McNaughton that I seen? He got pretty level. Like it wasn't like the Cup guy still had the takeoff mode. He was actually he took off, leveled off, and then came down.
Yeah. Perfect landing, and then he just right across Jimmy Johnson's front end. Jimmy pooped a little on that one because he's just hanging on. And I will say, because it's not a factor throughout the race, but one, again, awesome car count, 28 cars. Which, let's be honest, 99% of the teams are all based in Indiana. In fact, on the campus of IMS, most of the teams are based. But still, they're pulling cars out of garages. They're putting motors in, they're fielding cars. That takes money. It's great to see. Jimmy Johnson, though, finished 18th on the lead lap. I will give credit. That was pretty damn good. He finished ahead of Hinch. So, I will give him credit. He wasn't the last, he wasn't the last vehicle on the lead lap. He wasn't one driving a couple laps down. That was really good to see. He's getting the hang of it, sure. So yeah, that was good to see. And Will Power won the race. Penske,
could do the triple.
Yeah. He's going to do the triple. The only time a Penske car led the next day was when Brad decided, I don't need to pit. And he was a moving pylon out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's okay. Whatever. So that brings us to Sunday, where we're getting rid of that turtle, Doug. We saw what happened Saturday.
Yeah.
We know everything. We've learned our lesson, Doug. Everything will be fine.
And NASCAR said that they went over the track that night, overnight, and made sure everything was good. It was
not so much.
Perfect.
Apparently, yes, these curbings they've been using, which look like very low profile concrete pour, I thought they were, are apparently bolted down metal.
Yes.
Which, okay. Well, the problem with that is metal comes to a lip. And when a car with no ride height minimum underload through a chicane where if you run it flat out is the only way to be competitive, you have a tendency that front spoiler, especially the first few laps under green where the tire pressures are low and you're around the corner. Well, wouldn't you know it, William Byron right on that first lap managed to hook the
and that it didn't look like a big piece.
That wasn't the piece. That wasn't the piece. You're thinking, yeah. Byron caught that and it just exploded his front end.
Yep.
Right? And wasn't that when your boy went, whoa, there's debris on the track?
Yeah.
And his teammate Bell said, what? Oh, sorry, dude. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Martin's like, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. I don't know what, because Martin's Martin.
Yep.
Hey, Eddie Van Haskell. So Junior was what we thought on. He was on hitting the chip. Look at what's going on here. This is the first lap. This isn't supposed to happen. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Sure. Okay. A little while later, a debris caution. Doug, that's when you saw a little lip.
Just a little
piece of debris. Maybe
it was not much.
Inner fender liner, maybe. That's what it looked like. Piece of crush panel got wedged. It was leaning. It was just, and track worker went and grabbed it and he went, what the deuce? Because you can see it was like watching Keystone Cops. And then
bring out the pry bar. Bring out the pry
bar, which means you can wedge something under the curb already at this point. And they pull out an entire front splitter and rear radiator pan assembly.
Yeah.
Worth easily $100 in the gift shop.
Yeah,
that's one of those pieces that's worth a good $100.
Well, and I think even the track worker was a little shocked as well too.
They all were. And then immediately I saw them. They got the old grinder out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what we discussed off air. I'm going to say the rant now that I had is it's physics. When you have a wedge object, which is a curb on the racing surface, and you start getting rid of this leading surface, you're turning it more into an abrupt curb. And when it's metal, that's, I'm going to say, less in strength, tensile strength than, carbon fiber that's this thick. It's going to keep butting up against it, kinking, if you will. And they just kept grinding it down. And I kept thinking to myself, and I didn't text you about it at the time when I was watching the race. And I went, it's a bad idea. Because I'm thinking also, they curl that lip down. That's like structural integrity. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like, you can sit on the roof of your car because the windows are in it. But if you take the windshield and the rear window out of the car, the whole roof will just collapse. Structural integrity. Those curves mean something, folks. So, but, they were doing their thing. We're okay. And we go through the first stage, and there's some people grabbing points, and Chase Briscoe. Doug, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start rooting for Chase big time because your theory, we need more winners. We need more winners, and Denny's going to win the regular season, and then, 34. Out. Even though 34 was driving like a madman trying to get those stage points too. He's like, I need these points.
Yeah.
And, so we had strategies and this and that and this and that. And the usual suspects of Larson and Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, they were all running up front the whole race intermittently based on fuel strategies. And because really, you could fast forward till towards the end of the race.
Yeah, because I'm going to say, really, the rest, the got to a point in the race where it actually wasn't that bad. A little bit.
But the problem was that curb every lap. It was like watching the trickle of water over through the dam.
Like it was moving. Even some of the drivers said that it was moving more. But that last little bit of the race has made me totally forget about that first half of the race because it took longer and more happened.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And, it was a typical road course race. There was a few shenanigans here and there. But then, like Byron, because I think, what was it? Because I'm thinking, okay, Larson went over, and then whoever was behind Larson that just ate it with 4 laps to go. He said he moved over because he saw Larson, go over the curb and catch some air. What I noticed was where the flapping was, that blue piece, those who actually said, screw it, I'm putting 2 wheels up in the air, which was what was happening when you hit the curb, do that, you're fine. If you tried to avoid it, that's where it got hooked because then it was a full-on tunnel almost. And that's when that shot, and you just see the cars going, destroyed car, front clip. And Junior at this point, I'm surprised only dogs couldn't hear him because he's, oh my God, and he's going full on, they're wrecking everyone, and Joey Logano and everybody, and the field's done. The field's through, that was it. Now, and we went, okay, there's the shit show. Yep. Fine, And I said to you, there's 4 laps left in the race. Okay. The track is falling apart, we'll call it. It's the same as with Atlanta falling apart. Yep. It's only 4 laps. Just call the bloody race. Hey, it's raining. Let's call the race. Yep. We just wrecked a bunch of equipment. But no.
Let's fix it.
Let's fix it. Well, can we fix the curb? No. What are they going to do? Well, we'll get rid of the curb. Yes. Which has been in place for a while. You could tell because that layer of soot that was under it. Which I looked at, and they're right there.
The outline of the curb was still there.
Yes. With a layer of soot that from all the rainwater washed soot under that little lip. And out comes the track president with his shirt and his tie and his flipping badge on, lanyard, if you will, with a broom. Oh, look! Oh, everything's fine. Nothing to see here. Nothing. Oh, you photo opping, trying to save your job because Roger's going to chew your ass out within the hour.
Yes,
track president, and they never did clean it off. Brown, just looked like a big old shit stain on the inside. And
so NASCAR did consider stopping the race.
Yes, and they considered wrong because now you got your variety pack. Doug, you can just shoot the moon through the chicane, or you can dirt track it if you want because we got the nice dirt strip right in the apex, or we got the ramp option. All viable options for you. Mm-hmm. And so they said to all the drivers, now you're all professionals, right? And they said, yeah, we're all professionals. Not thinking Joey there, that Joey's, did you hear the fans cheering for me when I got into my wrecked car because I was safe?
No, Joey, they were cheering because you wrecked. Not just because you were okay, it's just because you were out.
But I like to go fast. Yeah. So, professional driver, sure. You guys, we got a painted white line there. Is that okay? Can we just use that? There's no curb. Oh, yeah. We're fine. I think we lost Doug. He's locked up. Uh-oh. Or am I locked up? One of us is locked up. Sure. Well, I'm going to continue with the story anyhow. He'll come back. So we got the ramp, the dirt, the chicane. Hey, let's have a green-white checkers on a road course because that's always fun and ends in misery and heartache for about half a dozen drivers. So they drop the first overtime attempt. And McDowell somehow got up in there, I think. Oh, Doug's gone. All right. Well, there we are. Thanks, Keith. Yeah, it's just he disappeared. Well, we'll wait for him to come back. No, we won't. Get out of here. I got a fruit fly sitting on my webcam. Anywho's, so they go through, and I think it was McDowell. Doug can correct me if and when he comes back. And he managed to put 2 tires on the ramp. And that just flipped that car up pretty good, and that caused calamity and another wreck. That wrecked a bunch of cars. So that wasn't good. I didn't do anything, Charles. Here, I'll text him. It's REAL, Terry. It's not. She isn't reeling him. Well, she might have reeled me. Okay, Doug says he lost his internet. All right. So he lost his internet. I said, I'll just keep going solo. So there we are. So they dropped for the next attempt at a finish. And it came down, it was Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe. Chase well out of the points, needs a win to make the playoffs. So he's going for broke, and he just throws it into turn 1. Denny kind of pushed him out. Exactly, Charles. And so he gets pushed out, and he just cuts across the grass, beeline, misses a couple curves. And Chase did what's normally done during a road racing event, which is if you cut a corner in advance of position, you just pull over, let off a bit, give that position back, which he did to Denny Hamlin, and then, no harm, no foul. NASCAR says, no, not so fast. No, you're going to need to do a stop and go penalty over in turn 12, which is a different chicane area. It's a chicane outside a chicane, which some road courses have, which I assume if any of you watched the race, you saw that. But that wasn't good enough. All right. So Chase then is driving along. Hamlin, are you past Hamlin? Hamlin gets past him. And before they get around and finish the lap, Chase Briscoe dumped Denny Hamlin. He dumped him. He hit him square in the ass end and dumped him. Briscoe claims it was an accident. Bullshit. It was not. It was pretty obvious. Oh, maybe. He's on his phone, I bet.
Yeah, I'm on the phone. The black helicopter.
There we go. So, I was just... was it the 34 that did the ramp on the first green-white checkers?
Did it on the second, I think. One of them.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So was it? So then, I was just saying Briscoe gets pushed wide on turn 1, cuts across the grass, does the gentlemanly thing, gives Hamlin the spot back. NASCAR says that's not good enough. So then he accidentally, clearly dumps Hamlin, which NASCAR also figured it was clearly dumped because they said, no, you don't need to do a stop and go now. You just pull her right down pit road.
Yeah. So more on that. So listening to Door Bumper Clear, talking with Brett Griffin, he was talking about it.
Hey, Guitar Man 45.
Sorry?
I was just saying, hey to Guitar Man 45.
Okay. I can't see it. I can't see any chat. So
I know that. That's why I was saying it.
Okay. Anyway, so he was saying that when Briscoe went off the track, as soon as he came back on, NASCAR right away said 14 off track, stop and go. Then they said it again. So they said it twice. So, and then NASCAR put out the communications video, which I believe I sent you a link. I'm not sure if you've seen it or not.
I did.
And you could hear them telling them 14 stop and go.
Yeah.
And then another good 10, 12 seconds after that he dumps them. Right? So all this saying that, oh, I didn't know. Your team was told twice. Right?
Yeah.
And then also, just before we came on, I was outside. I was going to my truck. NASCAR radio, they were talking about, I think it was Jeff Hammond was talking to one of the crew members or someone from the team. And they said, yeah, they knew he was going to have to do a stop and go because all of the stuff they were given on both the weekend, everything said, you go in the grass, stop and go. So every team knew it. They all knew what they had to do.
Yeah, and that's where they were used, which I do like. Rather than doing a pass down pit road or stop and go on pit road, they use that, what you call it, like the backup chicane, which is a little twistier, used for usually open wheel. Use that. Why not? Yeah, just do a stop and go there, and then you can merge as safe.
Yeah. So, and then him saying, if you've seen the conversation he had with Hamlin afterwards, which Hamlin, how did you stay calm that whole time? That's the big thing everyone's saying is, Denny, how did you stay so calm? And then B, accept it.
Yeah.
Is the other thing. But yeah, for him saying that, he didn't know. And
I do want to point out Chase Briscoe's spotter, the here's your sign moment, when Briscoe did do the stop and go, when he was trying to merge, his spotter actually came in and he says, everybody to your right. Yeah, no shit. He's parked there. He can see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
but then also say, I didn't dump you on purpose.
Bull.
Yeah.
Bull. That's bull.
I thought I had room to your inside.
You hit him square in the ass end.
Yeah.
Almost directly behind him. There was no overlap.
No.
You didn't even have a headlight outside of the ass end. Maybe a headlight. I'll give you a headlight.
And I will play poker with him any day because he does not have a poker face.
No, he does not.
He had the grin the whole time.
Yeah. So so yeah, and so for the first time, and I've yet to find the stat, but for the first time, well, actually, I think I do know. Haha, I think I do know. For the first time, well, Christ, it's got to be at least 10 years, though, a non-Cup Series regular wins a Cup race.
And it is the first non-charter team since the charter system came in.
Yes. So, who was the last non-Cup regular to win a race?
I don't know.
Trevor Bayne, Daytona 500.
Well, yeah, because he was a rookie and that was his first race.
And they were only a part-time team.
True.
So I count that he's not a regular because they were only a part-time team.
And
they only ran like 12, 13 races. They didn't run even half schedule.
And then also next week will be the first time since like the 80s that the winner from last week will not be racing the next week.
Yeah. David Pearson. or Cale Yarborough, one or the other.
Yeah.
So yeah, other than that, other news, busy weekend for one of our favorites, Kyle Larson. after doing cup practice on Saturday, hopped on the plane, flew over to Iowa, and decided to win the 60th Knoxville Nationals.
Hopped on Denny Hamlin's plane.
There we go.
Let him use the plane for a week to go back and forth.
Nice. Nice of Denny to do. So Kyle Larson, winner of the 60th Knoxville Nationals, and good run by Casey Kane, finishing 8th.
Mm-hmm.
But it came down to him and your boy Donnie Schatz for the win.
Mm-hmm. Just one more thing about that whole plane thing. Bob Pockris did say that he had Kyle and Denny kind of almost together, and he asked them about the sharing, like, Denny sharing, letting Kyle use his plane, because they're close, they're tied in the standings. There's that battle.
Sure. For the regular season win. Yeah.
Does it seem weird that that you're letting him use your plane and he's letting you use the plane? And he said they both looked at him as if he had like 3 heads, and we're like, what do you mean? Like we're still friends. He can use my plane.
Yeah. So, and I thought it was interesting because, it was Junior that wanted to point out that Kyle won the Knoxville Nationals, and he says, he's another Tony Stewart. And for the first time in quite a while, actually, he was pretty good most of the race. Steve Letarte, he was on his game on Sunday, I will say. But Steve Letarte said, Larson's no Tony Stewart. He's a hell of a lot better than Tony Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stewart never dominated a series.
No.
Well, he did when he won the Triple Crown and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know how dominant he was even in IRL. He definitely wasn't in the Busch Series. And he was dominant at times in Cup. But Larson, just as dominant. However, Larson's also dominant in Sprint Car because he's not even running his own equipment all the time. He hops into people's rides for races and wins. So, like Letarte said, he goes, I'm sorry, Dale. I think you're going to have to go back to AJ Foyt or Mario Andretti. And I went, you're right. And then Dale immediately said, he needs to run the Daytona 24. That's a good one. And it was like, or 24 Hours Le Mans. Well, that's not going to happen because it's in June. But 24 at Daytona, definitely a doable thing, which I'm surprised he hasn't before, because Ganassi, when he ran for Ganassi, you think, because he always did that. Here's my Cup drivers, give him a car for Daytona.
Yeah.
But also he said run the Indy 500. He says, yeah, but he's got to do it like now. He can't do it post Cup career type thing. He's like, he can't pull a Jimmy Johnson. So Dale's voting for Kyle to do the double. And I say, Denny's got the plane and Junior's he could chip in on the gas.
Yep.
So let's make it out. Let's see Kyle Larson do the double.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Especially now, because he's on his game. Like someone in his that would be big news.
Yeah, and then just one more thing, because I wanted to talk about AJ winning. Before hell we lose here. In his press conference after, I know I texted you about it. I'm not sure if he said it or not, but in his press conference afterwards, AJ said, someone asked him about the whole turn 6 thing. He's like, these guys all drive like idiots. He goes like, my tires were hardly touching that there, which I was watching back the Xfinity series. He was going over it pretty good, but still, he's like, my tires are barely touching the turtles. And these guys are just hammering over top of them. So
I believe it.
That's worth.
Yeah. So where are we off to this weekend? Michigan,
but before Michigan, there was some news came out today.
Okay.
Xfinity Series.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Berry signing next year, full season in the 8.
Nice.
Which also now makes them signing Sam Mayer to a full ride next year as well.
Interesting.
Do the math.
And that's gone.
I don't know. We'll see. You can have 5 cars in the Xfinity Series.
Oh, can you?
It's just a Cup that you only have 4.
Oh. That would explain one truck, was it GMS?
Yeah,
trucks. They show up with 8 trucks.
Yeah.
They're as good as Rick Ware Racing. Speaking of Rick Ware Racing.
Yeah, I've also got some other kind of some stuff that could be going on. 23XI looking to merge with Front Row Motorsports.
Oh, really?
Yes. Denny Hamlin was asked about it, and he kind of gave the I have nothing to talk about that, but it's week to week.
There we are. I was going to mention there was another race.
Sorry.
Another race to talk about. The Pinty Series running at Sunset Speedway, running a 125 lapper for round 2 of the Pinty Series. First of all, worst sponsor combo. Alex Tagliani has Rona, which I realize a good portion of our viewers are American. Rona is like Lowe's. Keep that in mind. Lowe's, Home Depot. And slash, because it's dual sponsor, even on the hood, it says Rona, here for the camera, Rona Viagra. So you might as well just put Got Wood.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what? The Rona Viagra car? What the hell? So only 18 cars. Well, Dexter Stacy didn't take the green. So 17 cars.
Because remember, because we are in Canada here, remember we did talk about the results of that last week.
We talked about the results of round 1, I thought.
No, that was round 2.
Round 2?
I believe so.
Rafael Lessard won both races of the first 2 rounds of the year, you know.
Okay. Well, okay.
But once again, the next race will not have Rafael Lessard, in theory.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not in a ride. But there's already talk in the garage, like a Larry Fitzgerald or someone like that will just step out of his ride and, give him, put Lessard in. Because, he ran well. Young Lapsevich was doing okay, got a little overzealous at the end, tried to dive bomb in, spun himself out in the process.
Yeah. So they actually had a week off this week.
Yeah.
So they did not. They were in Quebec this weekend.
Starting the Quebec run.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're a week behind on the broadcast.
Because I was in Barrie, and I was actually not in Barrie, but just right around Sunset Speedway, because as I was leaving my other show, Cornhole Tournament, we actually pulled out behind the APC Tour tire truck.
Oh, nice.
Lapsevich ran in Quebec in the afternoon, then took a private flight back to race at Sunset Sunday night.
But what I noticed, one of your favorite race teams in all of motorsports, they field cars in all 3 NASCAR divisions. They field a car in the IndyCar series, and also apparently the Pinty series. Rick Ware Racing has a car in the Pinty series, and I was like, what?
Yep.
They're everywhere, man.
Yep.
Speaking of which, Cody Ware finished 2 laps down, damn near last in the IndyCar race.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Other thing I was going to talk about as well too, Kurt Busch.
What about him?
Does have a ride. He can't talk about it because there still has to be a few more pieces in place. But it looks like he does have a ride for next year.
Excellent.
So if he's got
more than likely the 2311.
Well, I was going to say, if he does have a ride for next year, just waiting for those pieces to fall into place.
So the question is,
waiting for the whole charter thing.
So the question I would propose then is, if the 2311 merges with Front Row, do they go 4 cars next year? Because Front Row's got at least a couple charters, do they not?
Yes.
And they usually field 3 cars.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what they do. So yeah, That'll be interesting.
Ibanez makes some, Keith. RG 421. There you go. Just drop in some other non-racing knowledge there. But then again, I'm looking at the crowd and, hey, they all kind of look familiar, Doug. I'm just saying, Charles 75 and Keith H, Guitar Man 45, Terry's 3Gs. So, yeah. Other than that, okay, so who do you like at Michigan?
There's a few guys. I think Truex always does well there. I think Hamlin will do well. He's done well there before.
Yeah.
Look for Keselowski. Look for Harvick.
Yeah.
Just Larson. There's all those usual suspects that will pop up at Michigan.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot because it really is. You got to hit on. It depends on. There's variable. The track. I think the track is still rather worn out. I can't remember when they repaved that. Although they might have repaved it not too long ago. Can't remember. But the wind is the wind reacts to the track a lot. And if you hit on the right setup, Doug, because it's like 5 lanes wide all the way around. It's like Atlanta on steroids where people are running everywhere and you can make some serious time.
Mm-hmm.
You were going to hear complaints about back markers and closing rates because we are going to have some cars out there struggling. And any driver that complains about that needs to watch any race on ESPN Classic.
I think it will come down to a fuel mileage race.
Usually does. So that there's your Keselowskis, your Denny Hamlins, your Harvicks.
So, yeah.
So on that note, anything else we got tonight?
No. I think that's it for me. Trucks will be at Gateway.
Oh, you're not going to call it by the actual name?
Everyone's been saying Gateway.
Well, because of the name. It doesn't even fit on the screen.
No.
Like you have to have a scroller just for the name.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mouthful. So Gateway. That's cool. I always like Gateway. I don't like the fact they fixed the walls. Remember the walls used to angle out?
Yeah.
The trucks used to just eat them and just launch. Yeah. But then they said, you know what? We really can't have that if we're going to run open wheel cars here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that should be fun. Trucks at Gateway, which is first round of the playoffs.
It is.
For them. So, Good luck, Stuart Friesen.
Bubba Wallace running an Xfinity car this week.
Nice.
We are not sure if Annette will be cleared to race yet in the 1.
Well, it was last minute.
Yep.
8 a.m.
Yeah,
8 a.m. Saturday.
Yep.
Annette called his crew chief, and then at about 8:02, somebody woke up Chase Elliott calling him.
Yep. So we'll wait and see on that one.
Yep. I think it was Junior that called him too, because I'm pretty sure he said on the broadcast, I think I woke him up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that should be interesting. Xfinity's going to be a fun race there. They always put on a really good show.
Yeah.
Man, they need those V6s again. That was great. So, on that note, I think that's it.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I've got nothing else.
Oh, neither do I.
No.
Points shake up in IndyCar because the points leader did drop out of the race. That was nice. I like to see it shake up. Make it more fun. All right. Well, on that note, he's Doug. I'm Ben. This has been NasCanucks presented by Vibraprint, your Canadian-based auto racing podcast. Cheers, rock on. Thanks, everybody that tuned in. If you're new, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you're watching on replay. It'll be a first. Yep. You have to have a question on replay. Cheers, folks.
See you, Marcus.